We will have a rematch of USA Canada in the Four Nations final on Thursday as Team Canada hangs on to beat Finland, and the USA team needs to mend following a 2-1 loss to Sweden. More ahead on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Best on Best, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. I knew you'd like that intro right there. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. Coming up ahead, we've got recaps of Team USA and Team Canada games, and VGK returns to the ice on Tuesday. Vacation is officially over. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. It's America's #1 sports book. So, Chris, Team USA, a banged-up team. They played minus Matthew Tkachuk, and also Charlie McAvoy was out, and then Brady Tkachuk. He skated right into the goalpost in the first period, came back for one shift, and then was out for the remainder of the game. Skated about 2 minutes on Monday night. USA, they started off with an 11-6 lineup against Sweden, down to 10 forwards after that injury. Vincent Trocheck, he hurt his hand as he blocked a puck. Austin Matthews was also out of the lineup. Will we see everyone back on Thursday?
Austin Matthews, yes. Matty Tkachuk, I'm not so sure. I'd rather wait and see until that actually happens. I still maintain my perspective of he went down at a very sensitive moment of the game, couldn't return. That's not a precautionary measure at that stage of that game, given the magnitude. He was hurt. Now, will he be better on Thursday? I hope so. It'd be certainly good. Brady Tkachuk, maybe it's a precautionary thing just because the game meant nothing. And maybe the game plan was, guys, if anyone gets hurt, you sit, you're done, and we'll make sure you're good to go on Thursday, which, fine, that could definitely be the case. But as it sits right now, you mentioned Trocheck. I didn't even catch that one. But we know Brady, we know Matty, and we know Shea Theodore have suffered injuries that have caused them to miss time in this tournament. Matty Tkachuk has missed a game. Now, could he have played tonight if it was a championship game? We don't know. We'll find out, obviously, on Thursday if he plays or not. Shea Theodore, we know his situation week to week. We'll see him sometime in the first round of the playoffs. That's just how things go. You hope Brady Tkachuk, it's just more of a precautionary thing, but we don't know. And this goes back to how wonderful this tournament would be in June.
Exactly. And Jack Eichel continued to play well despite not having the two Tkachuk brothers on his wings. And he hit 2 posts on the night. He also now has, 4 assists in 3 games. And he's just been playing phenomenally. And he also had this is so uncharacteristic of Jack Eichel, but to show you, again, he's playing for pride, Team USA. And then, of course, he's back at home in that Boston area in front of family and tons of friends there, I'm sure. And he had that big hit on Leo Carlson that knocked Carlson's helmet off of his head. That's uncharacteristic, but that shows you the competitiveness without a lot of players on the ice for Team USA, and Jack Eichel stepping it up in a big way.
I'd like to see Jack Eichel make that type.
He's elite, you know. He is elite.
He's very elite. He's 100% he's elite. I said he was elite probably about this time last year. I put a post out there using the AEW. That's the competitive wrestling company of the WWE. AEW. It's not elite, but whatever. But they always say when someone transfers over to AEW, they are elite. Well, Jack Eichel is elite, and he's been so for a while. I'd like to see him make that type fit wearing a VGK uniform. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. But yeah, good to see. I mean, listen, Eichel is on his biggest stage right now of his life. He's played for Team USA, I think, back in juniors, and I don't know if
juniors, yeah,
one team specifically. But either way, Eichel does have a history with Team USA, and to see him doing it on his biggest stage in a very highly touted exhibition at tournaments, it's very exciting to see. And, looking obviously way down the road and past what's happening right now, it'll be nice to see how much he raises his game even farther for the Olympics next year. And what Italy, I believe, right?
Yeah, Milan, I think in Italy. Yeah, should be
Bad
pretty
ice in
cool.
Italy? Good ice out there? What do you think, Tony? Good ice?
Yeah, yeah, it'll be good that time of year. That time of year will be really good.
Winter.
5 posts on the night for Team USA, 2, as we mentioned, for Eichel. Goaltending, they gave Connor Hellebuck the night off and Jake Ottinger with a pretty good showing. The Jesper Bratt goal, the game winner, was one in which he was screened out. He's moving to his right, and Bratt just picked a spot there around the screen, and he had to have the perfect shot to go high in the left-hand corner.
I'm watching the visualizer right now. Admittedly, I didn't watch a whole lot of this game, but I can see the movement and everything you're talking about. Yeah, I mean,
Is it as I described it? I hope I was okay.
No, you hit the nail on
in
the
the
head there.
description.
Ottinger definitely can fill in as the goalie in the event Hellebuck were to go down. The Team USA's goaltending, and of course, I'm sure we'll preview the crap out of this game on Wednesday and Thursday, but of course, Team USA's goaltending much greater than Team Canada's. And we did the curious case of Aiden Hill yesterday. We can probably do that again today, it seems.
Man.
We'll talk about that more in the second segment.
Yeah, let's do that in the second segment.
But again, Team USA, if Hellebuck were to go down for whatever reason, he couldn't go on Thursday, which there's no injury, just hypothetical. Ottinger could be a very close to a par replacement for Hellebuck, especially in a spot start scenario. And Montembeault is not a bad goal either. I would honestly take all 3 Team Canada or Team. That's right, Montembeault. No,
he's on Canada.
The third goalie. Swayman's the third goalie.
Right,
the guy got mixed up there.
You are having difficulties with your countries and geography and stuff.
All the time. I would take any of the 3 Team USA goalies over any of the Team Canada goalies. Is what I'm ultimately saying.
A big push for Team USA in that third period, and that was impressive because they really didn't need to win that game. You just wanted them after a while just to slow down. They did have some really good looks on power play opportunities, I thought, and I just felt that they played together as a team. And it was also very nice for Chris Kreider, who we mentioned was that odd man out of the lineup at the start of Team USA's run here. And then Kreider from the Boston area as well. He went to Boston College, right, I think, and Kreider had the goal for Team USA. So that was really a cool thing to see. He's so versatile, and I know that the way that they were talking about him, they felt that they would need Kreider sooner or later, and he broke through and scored the goal. Hey, I wanted to ask you.
52 goals in 21-22, and he can't make the top 12 skaters on Team USA. That's pretty good.
It's pretty amazing, good. Right? Yeah. I wanted to ask you about our good friend, Noah Hannafin. They did not even call his name. That is almost impossible with 6 defensemen. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible not to hear the call of Noah Hannafin's name. Not once. I don't remember it being called. It's crazy. He's been struggling, I think, as much as Rupe Hintz was today. Sorry.
No, you're good. On the how much? I can't even find him on the sheet right now.
No, he played. He wasn't a -1 at least, so that's a good thing.
I'll look harder later. But point being is the thing about out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. If your name's not getting called in a high event game, out of sight.
That's a good thing. Is that a good thing? Sometimes, yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing. All right, I've looked at this list 3 times. I haven't had anything to drink today.
He's played. Look in the box score, and I know he played, and he played some decent minutes. I want to say maybe 10 or more.
I'm looking at Team Canada right now. Give me a free. Noah Hannafin did not play for Team Canada. So
no, exactly. Okay. I think he played for Team USA right there.
All right, so let's try this again. Noah Hannafin of Team USA. 1509.
15 minutes.
2 at-bats and 1 hit.
1 hit. That was it.
AB. What is AB? What does AB stand for?
I don't know. In any event.
Attempts.
Yeah, 2 attempts, 2 shot attempts. Is that what it is?
He had two shots, but they were both blocked.
I don't remember. Oh, they were both blocked. Okay. Seriously, like he was just a ghost out there for Team USA.
You got a penalty.
And I still wonder. I don't even remember that. I still wonder, about him in the future here for VGK in the second half of the season. I do. I definitely am interested in seeing how he responds. They're going to need him in a big way
I
to
mean,
fill in for Shea Theodore.
so Noah Hannafin, and granted, this is a game where you're not going to get necessarily an accurate representation, but Noah Hannafin had the lowest amount of minutes played of the defensemen for Team USA. Lowest amount of even
With
behind
6
Jake
defensemen.
Sanderson, the younger player.
With 6 defensemen. With 6.
Yeah, exactly. So, what does that tell you about where Noah Hannafin ranks in the grand scheme of things? We've been pretty down on him for not all the season, because he did have some real good pockets of decent play. And also, to be fair, separating
he
him and
started off
Pietrangelo,
very slow, and he had a little
very
bit
good offensive output for about a week and a half.
right.
And that's
been about it.
up.
But they're going to need him to contribute in a major way in the next the aftermath
out of sight, out of mind, Tony. They're going to need, if we're talking about Team USA, it's going to be a team out of sight, out of mind. He needs to go out there and make his layups, not make any mistakes. As far as the Golden Knights, if that's where you were going with this, the Golden Knights are going to need Noah Hannafin in a big way. Starting on Saturday. We got a home game on Saturday. Let's go.
Coming up next, Team Canada holds on versus Finland to advance to the championship game against Team USA. We'll get to that when we return right here on this Monday-Tuesday edition of Lockdown Golden Knights.
Spell that out for people.
In sports, having a winning strategy is absolutely everything. It's how teams are the best on best. They make it to the Super Bowl, to the Four Nations, to the World Series, and to the Olympic Games 1 year from now. The same goes for life, Having a strategy like life insurance from SelectQuote can protect your financial legacy and keep your family's future secure. They make it easy to find the perfect life insurance policy for you and for your family. As one of America's leading insurance brokers with nearly 40 years of experience, they have helped over 2 million customers find $700 billion in coverage since 1985. What sets SelectQuote apart is their personal touch. Unlike other brokers that offer one-size-fits-all policies, their licensed agents like to tailor coverage that fits your unique needs. If you are in good health, you might even qualify for same-day coverage of up to $5 million. No medical examination is required, and it's more affordable than you would think. You can get up to $1 million in coverage for as little as $20 per month. Go to selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL. Go to selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL to get started today. selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL. SelectQuote. They shop, you save. Welcome back on this nighttime edition of Lockdown Golden Knights. We appreciate everyone tuning in wherever you might be, especially our everydayers. Please make sure to subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel. On Fridays, we have our feature called WTF. What the Fridays, Saturdays, sometimes it is the Chris times Chris Jr. Young Guns show. So, Team Canada, they clinched a spot in the Four Nations Championship game with that 5-3 win over Finland on Monday. Canada was in cruise control. I kept watching the game. I was in the office. They go up 1, 2, 3, 4-0, right? And then we see this Finn rush. And Esa Lindell, with about 7 minutes to go, he scores, and then 2 Michael Granlund goals, and suddenly it is a 4-3 Canadian lead with about 1:17 to go, and that before Sidney Crosby hit the open net, an empty net goal. And Jordan Bennington, you have to talk about him, back in net for Canada, and gave up some leaky goals in this game late. And I have to wonder, man, what does Aiden Hill have to do to earn a spot there between the pipes?
He's not going to get one. We'll start there. There's not a world that exists unless something weird happens between now and Thursday where Aiden Hill comes into Thursday's game. Of course, injury, of course, a goalie getting pulled, but Aiden Hill is not starting Thursday's game. This could be a long segment, but we'll keep it short. Binnington, why he's getting these games over Aiden Hill is probably the biggest question right now. You have representation from both coaching staffs. Of course, I believe Armstrong, right? The Blues GM is the curator of this team, if I'm not mistaken. So, of course, there's the politics and everything involved in all of this. But yeah, Binnington, Aiden Hill, I think their numbers this season are very, very similar. But as far as like from a career standpoint, honestly, I think Jordan Binnington and Aiden Hill are the same goalie. You had pockets of brilliant play during a couple of playoff runs, both Stanley Cup champions. And there's not been a lot outside of that to warrant either goalie being elite. We're the show, elites. Both are very good goalies. Maybe systematic situations help them. But the fact that one cannot distance themselves from the other is probably not a vote of confidence for either goalie.
Right. In the grand scheme of things, and we touched on this a little bit yesterday, but someone had asked me on X today
Ask me
about
anything.
about how much is the value now of Aiden Hill. I said he still has to go through the remainder of this season and maybe gets the VGK into the playoffs and all of that. From a confidence level, this has to be a hit, number one. Number two, we know already that VGK has lowballed him. And so right now, I mean, that $5 million is starting to dwindle. That was his last contract. And now he might be in the 4.5 range. If he stays with VGK, he might have greater value because he's won a cup and he's also, been the number one starter for VGK, and he'll probably have more value in the open market. That's my opinion of Aiden Hill right now.
Yeah, I mean, before we dive too much more into Aiden, just back to the Canada game real fast, I think what you're looking at, and this is why this discussion is happening, is Team Canada's lacks the ability to shut games down right now. Number one, weird situation in game one, of course, versus Sweden when Shea Theodore goes down. Canada had the lead, of course, against Team USA. No Cale McCarr, no Shea Theodore, obviously. And then that game played out the way it played out. And then today, Monday, we're recording Monday night. This game got interesting. And when now you look at what happened in the USA Sweden game, Team Canada was a minute 17. I think the last goal came with a minute 17 left, if I'm not mistaken. They were a minute 17 possibly from that game
Minute
going
17.
to overtime and being knocked out of this tournament.
Right.
And they lack the ability to shut down games. Now we'll go to the goaltending in our conversation here.
Well, that's where that's the
this.
biggest issue, I think. Plus, probably up 4-0, some complacency might have set in.
Of course, and that's human nature. It's going to happen. But at 4-1, you wake TF up at that point. You wake up at that point and you realize what's at stake. Now, back to everything about Aiden Hill. For me, reading between the lines and discussion.
Don't say tea leaves. You say,
no,
man, I'll jump right through the screen if you say tea leaves.
Ask me anything about the airport. Ask me anything. But what I want to know is how Aiden Hill's handling this. And maybe he's handling it like a true professional. We don't know. I think behind the scenes, he's probably a little upset and a little bit, you mentioned about his confidence taking a hit. I mean, everything going into it. And granted, we're going to get the local, bias, of course. We're going to get the Gary Lawless effect. I'll be honest and say it myself. Gary Lawless even listed on the depth chart Aiden Hill as number one goalie when the teams went out to practice, and it wasn't in alphabetical order. He just put Aiden Hill's name up there first, and in the same tweet that had the lines, and line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and then it was Hill, Binnington, Monty as far as the three goalies. So
right,
we got a lot of local bias and a lot of local spoon feeding of Aiden Hill in our face and everything, and John Cooper didn't agree with that. And I do wonder what the practice habits were. I do wonder
he just
if there
keeps
was
saying
an open tryout going into it.
Right, but Cooper keeps saying, sorry to cut you off there, but Cooper keeps saying, well, he's the best goalie. Well, he put us in the position.
Confidence a lot too, and the fire burning.
Yeah, he probably has the most confidence right now. Binnington.
Well, Binnington's a confident prick at times, so I mean, I can see that definitely, but that's certainly the gear that goalies do have a lot. They're egotistical. This is all goalies, and that's just kind of normal. And Binnington won the battle of egos, maybe between him and Aiden Hill.
Yeah, for sure. Team Canada jumped out early. McDavid and McKinnon goals 46 seconds apart. Thought it was off to the races, and then of course they came back. They came back in that game. A big change there in the lineup. So they switched out Mitch Marner to the bottom six, and they brought Braden Point up to the top six. He responds with a goal. He had a really good game for Team Canada on
Cooper,
Monday.
he's a great coach.
Cooper. Well, he knows Braden Point very well, and he knows how he responds and what it takes to get him going because he's on his team. And then Cale Makar did return on Monday, and it was a good move because it actually helped Team Canada with better puck control and puck possession, and that's what he does best. And so that was a big move that I think they're going to have to prepare for Team USA as they take on Team Canada here on Thursday. There's going to be so many different matchups. Again, the health of Team USA is the biggest question mark right now going into that big showdown.
And what I don't understand on Twitter and X right now, everyone, the Chucks are fine. They're going to be back. Everything is great. Everyone's going to be back and everything. These are NHL players run by an organization being the National Hockey League where everybody lies all the time. And everyone, like, I even had someone on Twitter today talking to me about VGK. Oh, well, Shea Theodore's injury is 6 to 8 weeks, which means VGK, he's not going to be out for 2 months because that wouldn't be 6 to 8 weeks. Like, dude, is this your first time watching the Vegas Golden Knights handle their injuries? And this isn't just a VGK thing, to be fair. All teams do this. It's called competitive advantage. That's what it's looked at as. And it is the norm for teams to downplay, lie, not be truthful about their injuries because of a competitive advantage. I asked Coach Cassidy once, kind of on the side, I said, hey, during a press conference, what question do you not want to be asked about after a game? Because I was curious. I was learning, how to handle the players and everything.
Great question. Great question.
Yeah, no, I asked him on the side privately about this. So I'm giving a private conversation, but I don't care at this point. And he said, don't ask me about injuries after a game because I don't know. And I'm not going to say if I do because we don't want to give up the competitive advantage. Well, the same thing happens when Maddie and Brady Tkachuk are both downplaying what they're experiencing right now. And whatever Cooper said post-game, if the post-game press conference even came out, the game just ended an hour ago in real time. So, don't believe any of that. Now, Thursday morning, if they're doing the pregame skate, now we got something to go off of. But between now and then, whatever they say, coaches, players, they're politicians. You can tell if they're lying, if their lips are moving, and that's their job right now. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with any of this, but everyone just like, oh, they're fine, no big deal. Maybe it is no big deal. Maybe it's not no big deal, but you don't know any more than anybody. And I'm talking to the fans that are believing all this right now.
Coming up next, VGK returns to practice on Tuesday. It is back to work for VGK. We'll talk about that. Who's not on the ice for VGK? Well, of course, those in the Four Nations final and Shea Theodore. Much more on the way right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel. That is America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place a lot of live bets throughout the game. So even if you miss the opening tip-off or you want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can do so and you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. That's right. The one thing that I like is FanDuel's live betting action, that feature, because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether I am backing up a team for a late game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch three, you never feel like you missed out on an opportunity or on a chance. Plus, the app is so easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's right. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Best on best. You like that open, right? Cardasco and Golick.
Loved it. Great. Amazing.
Great. Hype job. Big hype job.
Awesome. Great.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. Find us wherever you get your podcast, including Odyssey. You can find us on the Odyssey app, which is super cool, updated daily. And of course, please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. So, VGK back at City National for practice on Tuesday, prepping for Saturday's game, the return against the Canucks. So, I think it's every team in the NHL can return to practice starting on Tuesday. It's at 2 o'clock. I'm assuming that's Eastern time. So 11 o'clock perhaps here. And the Golden Knights minus Eichel, Stone, and Shea Theodore is out. Hannafin and that power play coach, Bruce Cassidy. So they'll all be missing there. But who will be on the ice? I'm curious to see if Alex Pietrangelo, with that minor ailment, if he'll be back on the ice, first and foremost for VGK. And then, again, it's going to be real difficult for these players who are playing in the Four Nations championship game on Thursday. Big celebration Thursday. Is there a parade in Boston on Friday? Is there they have a parade?
Let's go to Disney. Let's back up the game this Sunday while we're at it here.
Okay. Why didn't they? No, why didn't they restart the season there on Sunday? Because the championship game's Thursday, Friday a travel day, Saturday back in action here. How much can you ask out of Jack Eichel, who's going to be spent? Mark Stone. Noah Hannafin will be in the lineup because he hasn't done anything.
He'll be fresh.
He'll be really fresh. Aiden Hill will be fresh, actually. No, that's sad and unfortunate, but Aiden Hill, he'll be okay. He'll be back here and back between the pipes. But, yeah, it's going to have an impact. It will have an effect on this next portion of the schedule.
I'll raise you. Will Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, will any of those players just simply not be able to play on Saturday because
that's what I'm guessing?
Injury sustained, fatigue factor.
Fatigue, yes. Attrition, yes.
Worse, they sustain an injury because of the extra play. I mean, I put a tweet out earlier. Shea Theodore, Matty Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk. But hey, the hockey's wonderful. So we can just sweep all these injuries under the rug like it's no big deal. But hey, it's great.
They'll have a lasting impact.
The game is growing, so it's worth the greater good.
How can they say that? Does this really truly grow the game, or does this grow the fighting game?
Definitely growing.
Does this grow violence in the streets, for crying out loud?
I mean, I had an up and back with someone on Saturday. During the day of the USA Canada game. And Alex, buddy of mine, who I see business-wise too, but he makes a comment. Oh, the NBA skills competition's going up against the USA Canada game. Good luck with that. And then I reminded him that there's players that make $60 million a year in the NBA, which is just $25 million less than an entire team's payroll. The numbers came out for Saturday's USA Canada game. I believe
it was over 4.4 million.
4.4 with a 5.2 peak or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And the 2024 All-Star Skills Saturday was 5-point-something million and 10 million peak.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you? The NBA,
the NBA needs to retool what they do for their All-Star game. They played to 40 points. It was just nonsensical on that court where I was getting dizzy. I needed Dramamine. It
was terrible
because of all the painting on that court.
What about Victor Wembanyama?
And I'm a huge basketball fan, as you know, right? So
what about that Wembanyama skills competition thing where you just threw the ball like they tried to rig it? It was rigged.
He cheated. They rigged it and they cheated. They cheated, and then no, but they sent the reporter. They sent the reporter over to talk to Chris Paul and to Wembanyama. And an NBA official pulled an NHL move and said, you can't talk to them. You can't talk to them. Because they were asking him about it being rigged and not playing within the rules. And the NBA intervened.
It sounds like they got the VGK,
the VGK Blues
over there, huh? Jeez.
I'm also curious, right? On Saturday, so the Canucks, Elias Pettersson did absolutely nothing. So he's in the Hannafin stage, so he'll be able to play on Saturday.
Trade candidate Elias Pettersson, as I think it was Elliot Friedman pointed out in his tweet. He had a very meticulously worded tweet about Pettersson and his minutes in tonight's game.
He didn't play. He didn't play. He's played he's not scored. He's not had any shots. Nothing.
He's been a ghost. He's
been a ghost. He's been a Hannafin.
He'll be in VGK and next week. Will Pedersen play for VGK or Vancouver on Saturday? That's the question.
The best thing that VGK could have going on Saturday wouldn't matter who's playing, because Kevin Lankinen gave up the 4 goals. His save percentage was like .692.
I think
like,
it'll be Demko. That's who they're going to see on Saturday.
No, but isn't he still? See, again, we don't know if he's going to be back. He's been out for a long time, but an opportunity to get well here during this long layoff. And also Quinn Hughes. He was about to come back, and then remember, they kept him away from the 4 Nations because they wanted him to be fresh, and he should be back. So advantage Vancouver on Saturday, I would have to believe. Maybe the high-scoring game if Lankinen's in net.
I'll be curious to see how it plays out. But yeah, I mean, in all this word run-on sentence, whatever word I'm trying to get to right now, I'm really curious to see how Saturday works out, because like you said, one of these 2 teams is going to win. So either Mark Stone and Aiden Hill are going to be hitting the celebratory.
It's going to be champagne flowing. It will be. Yeah, right.
Fine. And then, or it's going to be Eichel and Hannafin's going to be pouring the drinks for everybody. So we'll see how that shakes out. And then, yeah, they got to short travel. And then they got to do a pregame skate on Saturday. I mean, will one of them just not be able to play?
Is that a 7 o'clock game Saturday? That's 7, right? Here, 7 o'clock Pacific, I believe.
7 o'clock local. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so regular time. So that's a good thing. So they could sleep in.
Yeah, because the flight from Boston to Vegas, that's
5 hours.
No problem. Easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, a lot of questions coming off of this, and this is where I talk about the collateral damage of this tournament, playing it in February. And someone else just made a comment. This is helping to grow the game, and I think that's where all this started. We went on that terrible NBA tangents. Let's not do that again. That was awful. I'd never talked about basketball that much again. But going back to where we were going with all this here, is that what the hell was I going to say?
You were just going to talk about collateral damage.
Collateral damage. Thank you. No, the collateral damage of all this is the fact that you have players coming back. They're going to be tired. Will there be injuries that happen as a result later on down the road? And my ultimate point now here that I finally got all this back in my twisted head is the fact that, yes, the game is being grown. There's been some fantastic moments. Thursday is going to be a movie. Thursday is going to be a movie of a game. Even if it's an absolute blowout, the drama will be off the charts, starting from Canada when that plays. And credit at least today, Monday, the USA crowd behaved very, very nicely, but that might change.
It was so nice. No, it was everything was good. They said that there was a smattering of boos for Canada. No, it really wasn't.
But you're gonna have all the USA fans now. So again, it might happen, it might not, and honestly, whatever, that's between them. I don't care at this point. But my major point, and then I'm done talking the rest of this godforsaken show. But my last point I'm going to make here is that the NHL has a major issue when it comes to marketing and growing the game and everything. So yes, they're doing this, and that's fine, but they're doing it at the player's expense because they cannot properly market this game. And this is something that's probably a little more closer to your world, being on the marketing side of your business and everything. And what I see from afar, the NHL has Connor McDavid, the probably best pound for pound player in the universe for all 4 sports right now. And they can't market him properly. And McDavid, he's a little quirky as well. Don't get me wrong. He's not a great interview. You get absolutely nothing from him. Now, behind closed doors, he's a different fellow.
And his suit was absolutely wrinkled the other day. That was awful.
Yeah, but even when he's happy, that's how he is too. That's the thing. They could win the Stanley Cup, he'd give you the same type of interview. But you got players like Austin Matthews, who doesn't have enough popularity here in the States, despite being an American player. Jack Eichel, I mean, he's doing some damage control from unfairly, but some character damage control, and he's doing most of it on the ice. And obviously, us in Southern Nevada know how good of a human being he is. Outside of Southern Nevada,
I'll give them credit though on the broadcast on TNT. They were pointing out about Eichel and how they thought that he was a locker room disease, if you will, and he's really turned it all around.
Buffalo's the disease, Tony. Buffalo.
He's become. He should be the captain. I just say that.
I called Bennington a prick. I said
Okay.
Buffalo was a disease. I think I swore
Yeah.
twice. This is a good show.
You swore. Yeah, it's a
Good
good
show. Good show.
swear
I'm
jar,
done.
bro. Okay, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much. Vacation is over for VGK, and I'm wondering, will they have a coach on the podium to give us an update? John Stevens, we might not. I don't know what his voice sounds like, but they're going to have someone, right? This could be the day. An assistant coach stepping up there at
Someone's going to
practice
talk.
after
Someone will
practice.
definitely talk.
You
They
think
always
so?
do interviews, so someone
Oh,
will
this
talk.
will be
We'll get someone.
great.
Well,
This will
not
be
me. I'm not allowed. We'll
fantastic
get
for
someone.
all the
Okay, not done.
fans. I cannot wait. I don't know what his voice sounds like. In any event, we appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers tuned in
I
around
like
the
Joel
world.
Ward. Joel Ward's good microphone guy. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget on Fridays, it's WTF. Saturdays, sometimes the Chris and Chris Jr. show. For my man, Chris Golick, I am Tony Cardasco. Have a great day on Tuesday, everyone. We'll see you again on Wednesday right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please take care.